तो मीटिंग्स ही होते और कुछ नहीं होते।
हाँ, उसका जो डिजाइनिंग वगैरह है वो मेरा एक फ्रेंड है वो करते हैं। वो इनका चार्ज है पूरा।
अच्छा अच्छा।
वेस्ट बंगाल और कलकत्ता में जितने सारे आईसीआईसीआई बैंक के जितने सारे कुछ होते हैं वो सब उन्हीं के हाथ से ही होते हैं।
अच्छा अच्छा।
ही इज अ ग्राफिक्स डिजाइनर।
नहीं, अब
हम्म।
हमारा क्या ना, दिन में 5-6 घंटा, मतलब 9 घंटे की शिफ्ट में 2-3 घंटे तो मीटिंग में ही जाता है।
हाँ
और
तो
फिर हमें उसमें कुछ करना नहीं होता है, सिर्फ
बड़े
बैठो।
बिजनेस में मीटिंग तो होना ही होता है।
ये बताए।
हाँ, लेकिन करना कुछ नहीं है, बस बैठो, सुनो जो बोल रहे हैं, सुनो।
ओके सो लेट्स बिगिन। अच्छा,
हम्म।
क्लासेस तो ये लोग मतलब नहीं शुरू करने वाले हैं ना। दे आर डिलेड।
28th they are delaying.
भाई आई थिंक वो लोग पहले जो लिए थे कि 45 के डेज के अंदर रिजल्ट डिक्लेयर करेंगे, आई थिंक तो ऑलमोस्ट तो 45 डेज तो हो गया है शायद से।
इतना तो पहले जमाने में भी नहीं लगता था टाइम। एनीवे, वी डू नॉट स्पीक much about that thing.
हाँ, नहीं वो पहले डिक्लेयर किए थे ना कि 45 डेज।
So, last day we have discussed, although the recording was not completed because the audio was missed. I tried to make a audio adjustment over that, but unfortunately, those all three
Okay.
softwares are not giving me the complete video audio editing. Okay, they are telling me the
Oh,
maximum size is 40 minutes limit. So I
okay, okay.
discarded the voiceover concept and I have write a note on the last class. Okay, and I will publish
Okay.
that note on the YouTube description, that video description, so you can get the note and read it. Okay.
Okay.
I hope that will be good thing for you understanding the last class. Although we are quickly discussing about the concept of object oriented, we have discussed this thing. Okay, this mark thing, object oriented
Mm.
concept. Object oriented concept is what we will think. See, why we are doing this. We are doing this because we will develop an application. Applications means a software or a web application, whatever be. You can take any
Mm.
example. We are going to build a Facebook like something social networking site. We are going to build a hospital management system. We are going to build a bank automation system. Okay, so something
Mm.
like that. Okay, so if the system is a big system, then obviously you need to go. You need to.
रिकॉर्डिंग स्टार्ट की है सरोज जी आपने?
Yeah, I have started.
ओके।
I hope it is started.
स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं किया है शायद आपने,
I have
करने
not
वाले हैं
shared
क्या?
my screen. Na? I
हाँ
often
हाँ।
forget that thing. Okay, sorry. Is it visible?
यस यस इट इज विजिबल।
Actually, these type of recordings and everything is new to me also. Okay, so if Srinivas is not there, so I have to record
डू
this thing. But
मल्टीपल थिंग्स। हाँ, मेरा लैपटॉप का इश्यू नहीं होता तो एटलीस्ट आई वुड हैव डन इट।
for the time being, I am doing this. Later, you and Srinivas will do on the recording part also.
या।
Anyway, so building a software, we cannot build a software and application just by sitting in front of a computer and writing programs for it. Okay, for that purpose, we need
यस।
a perfect analysis. Okay, we need to design just like you when you are building a home for you. Okay, when the constructor builds a bridge, they need a perfect plan and design. Okay, so that planning and designing can be done using this paper. Okay, and
ओके।
the subject in this paper is giving you a um, plan which is based
ओवरव्यू।
on object oriented approach, you can plan your application in a different types of approach. Okay, so maybe it's a function oriented approach, maybe it's a different other approaches, but in this subject we will design a system according to the approach taken in the concept of object oriented. So
Object
they are
oriented.
called object oriented concept. Okay. Now this object oriented concept obviously is not new to us. Although it is mm, uh, added to our computer science development of application in the late 70s. Okay. But this object
Mm.
oriented concept is from very beginning.
Not
From
new.
It's not
Mm.
new to the human. Okay. It is
Yes.
from the very beginning of civilization. Okay. Whatever we do in our regular life, that is the object oriented concept we follow. Okay. So object means
Yes.
what? Object means an existing entity. Na?
Entity.
Object means
Existing entity.
an existing entity. So you see, in our daily life, we are surrounded by many objects. Na? Many objects.
Yes.
So this concept is object oriented concept. Means you see that whenever you are in a particular place, suppose you are in your kitchen. Okay. So you
Mm.
have many objects around you. Those are all objects, and you put those objects
Yes.
there. Okay. So why you put those
Mm.
objects there? Because you, while cooking, you need all those objects. So you design the
Yes.
kitchen in such a way that whatever the necessary items, that will be very much near to you while you are cooking. Okay.
Yes.
So this concept is basically, I'm quickly saying that this concept is basically
Mm.
object oriented concept. Okay. Now
Yes.
here our aim will be to implement the same concept in,
For software modeling.
yeah, for software designing. Okay. So we have
Mm.
to think in that way while we are developing a software or an application. Okay. So
Mm.
object oriented analysis or object oriented modeling gives you the knowledge how you will think while building an application as object oriented, um, like object oriented pattern. Okay. Now to build a software, suppose this is a software. Okay.
Mm.
This is a software or a application page. Okay. So suppose you have to enter some data, right? So you
Mm.
will make a provision so that user can type some data here. Okay. Usually
Correct.
we term this thing as a form. Na?
Mm.
We know these are the forms. Okay. So while you are creating a Gmail account for you, so that time you are facing a form. You fill a form, long form. After that you click a button. Okay. So you have to consider. Say suppose this is a very small, tiny form, but
Mm.
in the view of object oriented concept, we can consider that are called these are the objects. This is an object. Okay, this is an object. Say I say this is O1 object, this will be O2 object, this is again an object, O3 object,
Mm.
and the whole thing is also an object, O4.
Mm.
So primarily we consider that these are the objects. Okay.
Mm.
So now
Yes.
again you can see that these two objects are similar type of objects. So why don't we call that this is an object of O, say O0, right?
Mm.
So to build this application, what we need to do, we have to build these objects separately prior to build
Yes.
this application, right? So
Yes.
once we build these objects separately, then we can implement
Group
those
it together.
objects to build this application. Okay.
Mm.
So this is how you can apply the object oriented concept while building a software. So identify the objects in your application, then build those objects, and then assemble or associate those objects together to uh, develop the application. Thing is like that. Okay. Now
Okay.
the concept is, how can you build this object? How can you build any object without planning, right? So planning is there
Mm.
to build a particular object, and in our subject, this plan you can say called a class. Na?
Class.
This plan is called a class. Now we have to know what is there inside a class? A class is basically the plan of an object. Oh, often we say that class is a
Prototype.
object factory, because from
Mm.
class we create an object. Okay, so what will be
Okay.
there in the class, inside a class? Whatever there inside the object, that will be there inside a class. Class will be the view of an object. Okay, an object is the existence of a class. Okay,
Mm.
just like, suppose I gave an example last class. I'm just showing it to you. Mm, see, not this one. I'm directly describing it. See, we are going to build an application which will
Of adder.
add
Mm.
two numbers taken input from user, right? So
Mm.
we have to consider, suppose we are going to build such an application which will take input from the user, and two numbers will be input by the user, and the addition will be displayed
Add it. Mm.
added. Okay, so we have to plan it, we have to think the application as an object. Okay, think it as a
Mm.
device. We can say the device is a adder. Basically, it's a type of a calculator, a very tiny small calculator which can make sum of two
Perform
numbers.
this.
Okay,
Tune.
so if I design the application, or if I design the object, so it will something be like that, na? So these are the two area where user will give input,
User can.
and this area user will see the
He
output.
can view the result. Mm.
Okay, now this is another section. See,
Mm.
here we made some buttons. Okay, we are
Mm.
actually planning it. Okay, here we made some buttons. Suppose whenever user press this button, the two
It
numbers will
accepts
be
the
taken
value.
input from the user. When the user press this button, these two numbers will be added internally,
Added it.
Okay, and
Mm.
when user press this button output, it will be displayed here.
Mm.
So this is my planning. Okay, this is our planning. Maybe somebody
Mm.
plan in some different way. Okay, so we have to think it
Yes.
as a device. A device is an object. Okay, now
Mm.
clearly you can see that there are two sections in this object. One is your, where all these numbers are there. These are called data. These
Mm.
are called data or attribute. We will later say in class, we can say, or this data is also called attribute. And these
Mm.
are the functions, functionality or methods. This is method. So
Mm.
every object has two part in it. One is the data,
Data and
another is the
method.
method. Okay, data is what? Data is actually constructing the object, and
Mm.
method is what? Method is actually the application of
Working.
the object. Suppose you consider a car. Okay, you can
Mm.
easily consider a car as an object. There is no doubt in it.
Mm.
Object means, what is object? हिंदी में कहते हैं वस्तु है ना, मतलब
Mm.
आप
Think.
लोग, हाँ, think material. Okay, so car is
Material.
obviously an object. Okay, live
Mm.
car, you have a pen in your hand. Okay, that's
Yes.
that pen is also an object. Okay,
Correct.
because everything is an object, even the human body is also an object, huh?
Object. Yes.
Whatever exists in real world, that is an object, right?
Yes.
So take the example of a pen. So whatever the material that was used to construct the entire pen, okay, that
Mm.
plastic body, that refill, that ink, that nib, everything
Mm.
are the
Is
data,
data.
because they are used to construct the object, right?
Mm. Correct.
Then what are the methods? What we
We
do
used to
usually
write.
with the pen? We used to
Write.
write it. Okay, so writing can be a method of the pen object. Okay,
Yes.
often we use the pen as a paper clip, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, so clipping
Yes.
may be another type of method or
Method.
application. So when you are designing an object, you have to clearly define the two part. One is data and another is method. Okay.
Method.
So in our object oriented modeling, we have something called UML. UML means it is a designing, just like in database we did ER diagram to design
Mm.
the database. So in UML, in software development or
So,
application development, we use UML to design the total system.
yes.
There are many UML diagrams. Okay. Today we will discuss about the class diagram. So this is
Yes.
our design of the adder object. Now
Mm.
this is a design that we did informally, na? This is an
Yes.
informal design, you can say, just a figure,
Mm.
just a sketch. But formally, if we have to design, we have to write a class like this. Okay. So this is
Yes.
a class diagram. You can say this is a class. Okay. This is a class. Now,
Mm.
there are some certain constraints to draw a class. First of all, you have to give a name, class. This is the name of the class. After that, you have to provide two separation. This thing is called data or
Data.
attribute, and this is the method part. So
Yes.
inside data, you have to give the name of the variable. Data means
Mm.
what? In our programming, we will consider the data as the variable, na?
Yes.
And you have to give the type of the variable, obviously, the
Variable.
type of the variable. So in this way, you have to provide the name of all the variables or the attributes or the data that will be used in the object. Okay.
Correct.
So here the data part, and these are the method part. You have to put the
Mm.
name of the methods. Okay. So we
Mm.
will see here also. So we can design a class, we can write a class like that. Okay. We will write some other more classes. Okay. Now see, these there are some symbols. These minus, minus, minus. These are called visibility.
Spec. Yes.
These are
Access
called visibility.
specifiers.
Okay. So there are some symbols in front of the properties, in front of attributes. These are attributes in front of the methods. Also, you will find some symbols like plus, minus, hash,
Ash.
and tilde. This type of
Mm.
symbols. These are called visibility. Visibility of the property means
Mm.
what? You take the total class as a family. Okay, these are the visibility of the family member from the outside of the family. Means
Yes.
what are the accessibility of these members? So plus
Mm.
means it will be accessed by everyone, so it is public.
Everybody.
Okay.
Public.
Minus means it cannot be accessed by
Right.
everyone, only the internal accessibility
Members.
is allowed. Okay, so that is private. Hash is protected and default is something different. We will discuss these two things later. Okay. So
Mm.
this was all about how we design a class, right?
Mm.
Now here I shown something how to implement that thing in programming language. Okay. So
Yes.
this class was written in Java programming language. We have to write in this way. In C++
Mm.
programming language, we have to write in this way. So these are the way how you can implement the class. See, this is a class diagram. In UML, we have to write this class diagram, and that's all. We will have a
Yes.
diagram, something which will show you this type of diagrams. We do not have to write this code. Okay. I am just referring that how the software developer will convert this diagram into code.
Into code.
Okay. So this is the way how we convert the diagram into code. Okay. So that will be the Java part, and that will be the this is the
C
C++
plus.
part, how we can code it in C++. And obviously in our Java class, we will learn how to handle
Code.
this class code and how to create objects and how to use them all. Okay. So this was all about the last class. Today we will continue from
Mm.
that.
Yes.
Okay. So save it. So we are see, these are the diagrams that will
Mm.
be that we will have to learn in this course. Okay,
Mm.
these are all called UML diagram. These all diagrams comes under UML diagram. Currently we are learning class diagram.
Class diagram.
Okay, okay. So these two terms I will elaborate first: encapsulation and abstraction. Okay,
Mm.
individual, all these points we need to understand individually. So we will discuss, and be sure that this discussion will be common in Java class also, because this has a direct relation with Java. Why?
Yes.
Because Java is the tool to implement this concept. This is the
Correct.
mother concept, means the system
Base
is
of.
been designed here, and the Java people will convert this system using that particular language, and that Java language was developed to represent this model,
Object oriented
object
model.
oriented model. Okay, so
Yes.
these are directly related with your Java class also.
Java class
So
also.
we start from this part: encapsulation and abstraction. Now what that means, let's understand. Tell me, what can it be? Encapsulation and abstraction क्या हो सकता
Abstraction means representing only the essential features.
है?
Abstraction means encapsulation means encapsulating all this the complexity of the program in a class and hiding all the complexity and providing only the necessary features to the in hand to the user or something like that.
Hmm. See, these two concepts are very closely related, means complementing
We
each
can
other.
achieve the encapsulation through abstraction. No, abstraction can be achieved by encapsulation.
See, if I can define encapsulation, if I have to define the encapsulation, I will go in this way, that encapsulation is a technique through which we bind data and methods
And
together into a single entity. Okay.
yes,
In general concept, encapsulation is a technique to bind something, na?
yes.
Bind some elements. Just like,
Hmm.
I am not writing the definition, I am just specifying it. Say a capsule, a tablet, right?
Hmm.
You have the medicine tablet, okay? You have
Hmm.
some ingredients into it, means the compositions, some
Hmm.
different vitamins and something. So whatever there, that has been encapsulated into a single capsule, right?
Yes.
Now think about the pen. Okay, you have so many things in it. You have inks, okay, you have nibs, refills, okay, and you
Hmm.
have cap over there, okay. So everything is been encapsulated with this plastic body. You have
Hmm.
the mobile in your hand, okay. What happened
Hmm.
if in a mobile
In the
shop you,
case,
yeah, case means the total mobile casing, huh, means everything.
everything is
So
been molded inside a case.
inside a case, okay. So encapsulation is just the technique to bind the ingredients
Objects
or the
together.
compositions together,
Hmm.
and that's all. Okay. So that is the aim of encapsulation. Encapsulation is there to bind something. Now, since we are considering an object, now what are the parts of object? I told you already that an
Data
object.
and hmm.
See, now from this point we will consider that object and class are same, because class is the design of the object is the existing element, na? So
Yes.
whatever thing I specify about a class, that is also true about object, and whatever I
Yes.
tell about object, that is also true for the class. Okay, so
Hmm.
what are the elements inside it? Only two
Up
elements.
data and members
Yes,
methods.
yes, data or the material or the
Hmm.
attribute, you can say, and the method or the functionality, right?
Functionality. Yes.
So these are the two things we have to bind together, right?
Hmm.
So this is called encapsulation. And in our programming or in our object-oriented design, where we bind these together? We bind these
In
together
a
in a
class.
class. In a class. So that is your encapsulation. You are getting it, now?
Yes.
Okay. Now coming to the other part, that is your abstraction. Now what is abstraction? Abstraction is what? Mind
Representing
that
only
this
the
is not
essentials.
abstraction. Okay, this is abstraction. Abstraction is something different. It means not clear. Okay, abstraction means not clear, not properly understandable, means which is not transparent. It is
Mm.
abstraction, right? See, suppose if I say I'm a painter,
Mm.
okay, and I give you some painting of my painting,
Mm.
something like that. Okay, what you will understand. Say I'm a क्या बोले जो painters और artists होते हैं ना, modern
Mm.
paintings.
Modern
Okay,
paintings ka.
so
Mm.
in an art gallery I showed my displayed my paintings,
Painting.
arts. So something like that is a hangout in the gallery. But you will understand. So those person who stands in front of the picture frame, okay, they will think in their own way. Na?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Now, can you guess what is there? If
No.
if you are going to guess something, then you can specify anything to me. Obviously, you have some guessing. You may have some guessing.
Some incomplete human picture I can understand.
Incomplete human picture. Almost you got it because I painted in that way so that you can visualize. Say,
Okay.
something like that. Okay,
Okay.
I'm not a.
Football player. No,
Yeah,
actually, you're very good. Means
see what you have told. What is this?
it's a football player.
Yeah, exactly. This is a football player. Okay, football player.
Play.
Here also I drawn a
Made
football
same thing.
player. Okay,
But it was not completely visible.
so this is clear, na?
Mm.
This is not
Abstraction.
clear. This is not clear.
Not
What is
clear
not
or
clear?
not
The thought of the
thought.
artist, na?
Mm.
Since I am the artist, so every artist must have a thought
Mm.
before his creation, na?
Correct.
So when I was created this thing, I also have a thought. When I
But
have
it was
created this
not
thing, I have
visible.
also thought this is a classic art because the
Mm.
thought is clearly visible to the audience, to the
Yes.
viewers, right?
Mm.
Here, this is not visible. Okay, that's why this is called modern art. Don't criticize me. This is
No, no,
modern
no,
art.
no. Actually, it is
And you
like that
know,
only.
sometimes modern art is also known as abstract art. If you Google
Mm.
abstract
Mm.
art image, then you will
Mm.
see some kinds
Only
of
the
picture like this.
modernization.
Okay.
Mm.
Now, this is called abstraction. Am I gettable to you completely?
Yes, yes. I got it
Abstraction
completely.
means you are trying to hide something. You are not telling the complete truth.
Clear picture is not
Clear
being given.
picture, you are not giving the clear picture. Now it
Mm.
is the responsibility or it is the job of the means the viewers or the audience to get the idea of it. Whatever they wish, they can
I didn't means understand
abstract.
view in their particular way.
So what is the effect of that thing in our coding? See, suppose, see, you may have find some paintings while you are entering in a shopping mall. Na?
Yes.
Some fire exit, some
Mm.
staircases, lift. Everywhere there is not the written, the labels were
Signboards.
there, signboards were there. There are some symbols. Okay, here is
Mm.
your means that washroom. Okay, some
Mm.
particular symbols were there. So those symbols were clearly understandable by any person who do not even know the concept. Okay,
Yes.
so that is the means that is the purpose of having a diagram, right?
Mm.
Now here also think, if those diagrams were abstract, then what will happen in case of firing? So nobody is, although the symbol is given in front of him, but he is moving in some other direction, right?
Mm.
So abstraction, you have to follow the abstraction, you have to apply the abstraction with a very clear frame of mind. Okay,
Mm.
when we need those abstraction, when we do not need the details, right? When we
Yes.
need abstraction, when we do not need the details. Now think of a case, you are using the mobile now. Just a minute, something is happening with the recording, I don't know.
What happened?
Okay, it is
It's
running.
it's running.
Okay, so think of the mobile. Okay,
Mm.
tell me frankly, do you know when you call somebody,
Mm.
then
Mm.
how your voice is transferred from your device to his device? Do you know? You do not know.
No.
Okay,
No.
you may guess, but you do not know.
Yes.
Acha, when you are driving a car, okay,
Mm.
think, when you are driving a car, do you really know when you press the brake how the car gets stopped? Okay, you have an idea,
No.
there must be a brake shoe
Brake
which
shoe,
stuck,
something
but
like that.
how it actually
Egg.
works, do you really know? You do
No.
not know. Okay, suppose you are in a restaurant, okay,
Mm.
having some delicious food, okay, it's a
Mm.
good taste. Do you really know how they cook, how the cook made those
No.
dishes?
No, they
You,
will not
since
show
you
that.
do cook lots of cooking by
Mm.
yourself,
I can guess
you can
something, but
guess, but you definitely can't say that he did the same thing, right?
yes.
In all these three cases, we do not bother about the details. Na?
Yes.
We do not bother about the details. And that is the case where you need to implement the abstraction.
Mm.
When our user do not need to bother about the details, why should we
Display
give
it.
them the details? So this
Yes.
is the first reason. There are two reasons
For
for the abstraction. This is
abstraction.
the first reason of abstraction.
Mm.
Okay, I am not writing in details. Okay, you
Mm.
have to memorize that thing by
Yes.
reviewing the, if it is recorded, all okay.
No,
So
otherwise
abstraction, the
also.
first purpose of abstraction is to do not disturb the user. Okay, user do not
Yes.
bother about the details. He just want to use it. Okay, so
Yes.
give a suitable interface to him, to the user, so that he or she can use it for the solution of his of their problem of,
Yes.
or they can of their purpose. Okay,
Mm.
so give them a suitable interface so that they can use the object. So that is the purpose of abstraction, the first purpose. And the
Mm.
other purpose, what can be the other purpose? The
So
other
they
purpose
don't
is,
want to give the mechanism, all these
yeah,
things
exactly,
like
very fine, they do not want to give the business logic to the user.
yes.
Say, suppose you ask the hotel manager, yeah,
Mm.
could you please tell me the recipe of this food? I like it very much.
Mm.
Tell me, frankly, will he interested to
No, no, no.
give you
He
the
will
recipe?
not. No, no, no,
वो
no,
तो
no.
मतलब कि he will think, oh, अच्छा, okay, so you will not come to my hotel, na? You will, maybe
Yes.
you we will see a few months later you
Or he
constructed
can
a
be a competitor to us.
competitor too. So he will never tell you the recipe, right recipe. Okay.
Yes.
For the good sake, he may say this thing, but when you
Yes.
try those
Actual
things,
recipe will not be
actual
there.
recipe they will not tell you. So the second purpose of abstraction is to hide the business logic from the from those type of
Other.
users. Okay.
Yes.
So these are the two
Main reasons for
main reasons
abstraction.
for having an abstraction. Now, how we implement the abstraction in the
Through
coding?
encapsulation.
In the coding, That is not the case of bother here. Okay, we are not bothered about the implementation of the abstraction that we will take in the Java class. Okay,
Mm.
yeah, how this app encapsulation was being incorporated. Although encapsulation, I have told you that to
Mm.
incorporate encapsulation, you have to put everything inside a class. This is encapsulation,
Yes.
simple, nothing else. Now, how to implement the abstraction? That I cannot go here, because that implementation part will be taught in the Java class.
Java
Okay.
class.
So abstraction is clear, na? Okay,
Yes.
abstraction.
Yes. Yes. Clear.
Okay, so encapsulation abstraction. Next, we are coming to something called visibility. You understand something called association. This one we will discuss now. After that, we will
Okay.
go to the inheritance and those things. Okay,
Okay.
applying encapsulation, you already understand by using class, right?
Yes.
Applying abstraction,
We will see in
why
Java.
we why we apply the abstraction, we already now know. Now, creating
Mm.
objects from a class. Creating objects from a class means when you have designed a class. Okay, when
Mm.
you have designed a class, say after applying all those things, we have finally designed a class, something like that. Okay,
Mm.
so here the detailed class diagram, just I shown in the last class.
Mm.
So after creating those class, we have
Mm.
to create some objects from it. Okay,
Yes.
we need to create the objects, and
Mm.
those objects will be
Correct.
use those objects. Okay, so how
Yes.
these objects are created, that is also a part of implementation. So that
Mm.
part will be take over in
Learn
the
engine Java.
Java. Okay, so applying abstraction and creating objects, we need to create the objects from the class so that we can use them. And the
Mm.
state of an object, we will discuss it later. Now come to the association. See, see, while we are building a system, suppose we design in a system, we obviously even in a small system we will have multiple classes. You understand? Even in a small system we will have multiple classes. That I In this example, see, this will be one class, na? This will be
Yes.
one class, this will be your another class, and this will be your another class. Okay, because we have three kinds of objects here, so we will
Objects.
have three kinds of classes here.
Classes.
So can't I say that these classes are associated in this application?
Yes.
So this
Yes.
is your association. Okay, this
Okay.
is called your association, right? Now
Mm.
see how I show the association in the class diagram. So suppose this is a class 1, this is a class 2,
Mm.
this is a class 1, and this is a class 2, class 2. How I show the association? I show the association just putting a straight line. Maybe some author gives a arrow,
Arrow.
but I do not prefer giving the arrow. Okay,
Mm.
so this will tell you that this class 1 is associated in this application. Say I am considering this is a application
Okay.
1. Okay,
Mm.
so in this application, this class 1 is associated with this class 2,
Mm.
and this is the symbol. Okay, now
Mm.
you can recall from something from database management system also. See here,
Mm.
with the association, you will also have to show how many of class 1 type object are
Mm.
associated with how many of class 2 type object. I am telling you that these are the classes. Okay, so in
Mm.
practical means in application, while you are coding the application, you have to build the objects from it, right?
Mm.
So there will be n number of objects from maybe in this application you need n number of objects from it, and you maybe
Mm.
need to create some m number of objects from it. So among
Mm.
those m numbers, how many objects are related to how many objects of class 2? So that is something called multiplicity.
Okay.
Multiplicity of the relationship. Okay.
Mm.
These are the multiplicity rules.
Okay.
Give me the other name of multiplicity then. You can identify.
Relationship.
No, no,
Relationship.
no, 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 no. Cardinality.
Oh, correct. Cardinality.
Cardinality.
Mm.
See, suppose if you tell that here means you have to write something like that 1 and 1. That means one object of this class 1 type is related with
That's
associated with one object of
one
this
of the class
same
two.
type. Okay, right.
Mm.
Acha. I am not drawing. See, these are the classes. Okay, I am not drawing for each of them. What I am trying
Mm.
to say, I am just giving in this way. Okay, so 1 1 you understand, right?
Mm.
Suppose 1 and here you have 0 dot dot 1. What that means? Means here this object, one object will be related with 0 or 1,
Okay.
either 0 or null, none.
Okay.
One object of this type will be related with 0 or 1.
Zero or one object.
0
Mm.
or 1. Okay. Now see this one. Tell me,
Mm.
if I put 0 dot dot 1
Mm.
and then 0 dot dot 1 here, then what it will be? What it will mean?
Zero or one objects of one class one is associated with zero or one objects of class two.
Yes, in that way. Okay,
Mm.
fine. I am just erasing the thing. Now, suppose
Mm.
1 is here and star is here. A star
All
means many.
many.
Okay, many.
Okay.
Okay,
One object is related to many objects in the
many
second class.
objects. Okay. Acha. Another thing is your 1 to 0 dot dot star. Can you guess?
Yes, it is. It might not be related to any class or all the classes.
Or many objects
Yes. Oh,
or all
sorry. Many
objects.
objects.
Okay.
Many.
So one object
Mm.
of this type is
Mm.
associated with many objects
Another
or zero objects,
zero
no objects.
objects.
Okay.
Mm.
You can specify some numbers here also. 2
Mm.
dot dot 10 means
It
one
is from
object
two
of this type will be associated with either two
to
object
or
or three object or
to
four object up to 10 objects,
bit in the
not more
range
than
of 2
that.
to 10.
Yes, yes,
Mm.
something like
Range
that.
of 2 to 10.
So range can be associated with something like that n dot dot n.
M.
So this is called multiplicity. In DBMS, we have already known this term, na, year diagram cardinality
Mm.
ratio.
Yes.
So the same thing. Okay, the same thing. So
Okay.
multiplicity is okay, na?
Yes, it has
Okay.
been done.
Now see, I am giving you a more prominent example. Suppose there is a class called mm, bank,
Mm.
right? Bank, bank class. Okay. See, I may have these pictures. Okay, I have
Mm.
all these pictures, but I would like to draw all of them in front of you. Okay,
Mm.
because while I am sketching, okay, so that will put some effect in your brain. So you will
Yes.
remember more, just not by just seeing a complete big diagram. Obviously, I will put some diagram in front of you after learning all the individual small parts of it. So that's why I am writing this thing. I'm trying to make it in a quick. So suppose this is a class named
Mm.
bank, okay, and you have something called name
Mm.
and branch, say branch name,
Mm.
and maybe a city. Okay.
Mm.
So this class will represent a bank in a
Mm.
system. Okay. Say
Mm.
we are considering a banking system.
Okay.
We are developing a
Banking
banking
system.
system, maybe a small scale banking system. Okay. So bank is one class in the banking
Yes.
system. Okay.
Yes. Mm.
Now tell me if you can identify any other classes in the bank.
Customer.
Customer, obviously. Very simple. There will be a customer, right?
Mm.
So customer. So what will be the attributes of the customer? Say
Name.
for the simplicity purpose, I am not mentioning the methods. Okay.
Okay.
Obviously,
Mm.
we will have some methods in it. How
Mm.
what are the methods that you can include in bank? Say input,
Creation of account.
creation of account, input the data, take it,
Input the data.
output the
Yes.
data. Okay.
Mm.
Then searching the branch.
Branch.
So these are all the methods that can be inserted in this class, okay,
Mm.
as a functionality. Okay.
Mm.
So I am not including those functionality. I am just going with the attributes. So customer,
Attribute.
we may have something called, obviously customer name will be there. Okay.
Account
Customer name
ID.
will be there.
Account name.
Account your
Number.
address. I am giving some address. Okay.
Mm.
Address, contact number, etc. And account number, right?
Mm.
So obviously in the bank, customer is identified with his account number. Na?
Account number. Yes.
So these are the two classes that can be
Mm.
imagined in a banking system. And obviously
Yes.
these two classes are associated together. Na?
Correct.
So while designing the system, you have to draw the class diagram. So this is a
Mm.
class diagram.
Mm.
And in the class diagram, we are actually showing the association and
Mm.
the aggregation,
Multiplicity.
the relationship among all the classes,
Multiplicity.
different entities in the system.
Mm.
Okay. So here we identify two classes, two entities. One is bank, another is customer,
Customer.
and those two classes are associated with each other. That's why we put a straight line between them. Okay.
Mm.
So we can also give a association name here.
Mm.
Association name.
Mm.
Okay. Just like in ER diagram, you remember we have
Yes,
to
we
give a
remember.
relationship name inside the diagonal box.
Diagram. Yes, diagonal box.
The same way we can put a name. So give a name,
Mm.
suitable name. Bank has, maybe I can say bank has customer. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
So now you have to find out the multiplicity. So one bank branch
Mm.
may have, what I will write,
0 to n customers. 0 to n customers.
0 to start.
Mm.
0
Okay.
to start. Okay.
Mm.
So this is the way how you have to represent the association in the class diagram. Okay.
Okay.
See, you can give see this name is this name should not be visible, so make this all private. Na? Make this all
Mm.
private.
Mm.
So we have make all the properties private for the classes. So this is the association. Now you can say
Yes.
that account information, detailed account information. Okay, a
Mm.
customer, each customer have some account information, detailed account information, right?
Yes.
So we can have another class for the account for that bank.
Mm.
I'm just extending the concept. Say
Yes.
I'm giving the name of this class as account, right? Account,
Okay.
which contains the account details, okay, of that particular customer.
Account now.
So
Okay.
I can say that,
Mm.
can you say that class is associated to account, or customer is associated to account?
Both the way it could be actually.
No, customer is associated with an account because bank do not have the account, but customer have the account. Na?
Okay.
In that way, you have to think. Okay. So bank has a customer and customer has accounts, right?
Mm.
So
Okay.
one customer in that particular branch may have how many accounts?
One, two. We can specify with the number or we can take even the range.
1 to n,
Mm.
1 to n. Because
Mm.
in a particular branch, you can have a savings account, you can have a joint account, you can
Current
have current
account,
account, you
joint
can
account.
have loan account. Okay. So in that
Yes.
particular branch, one customer may have multiple accounts.
One. Yes.
And if you think in another way that one account can be associated with multiple customers too, na? Joint accounts.
Hmm. Joint account means multiple. Current account also. Mm.
So in that way, you can put that thing, say one dot dot
Too
m.
many. M.
Okay. Joint account में तो you can have more than two also account
Yes.
holder. Huh?
Hmm.
So in that way, you have to show the multiplicity among the different entities or classes in a complete class
Yes.
diagram. Okay. So account
Hmm.
may you can put some attributes over here also. So this is called your
Yes.
association. You got it, na?
Hmm.
What is
Yes, I got
association?
it.
Okay.
Yes, yes, clear.
Next, our concept will be
Hmm.
on inheritance. It is a big concept. In fact, the
Hmm.
object-oriented technology is based on this concept. Okay.
Hmm.
So if you are not applying the inheritance, then there is not much very usability of applying object-oriented concept. Now, what is inheritance?
Okay.
I will not be able to
Uh,
complete the concept of inheritance in today's class. We will continue this class
hmm.
in the next session,
Next
but
session.
we will
Okay.
obviously introduce the inheritance today.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So, what is the inheritance?
Like
Inheritance again,
extract.
it's a very common concept. Now, means
Yes.
our daily life.
Acquiring the acquiring the properties of parent class.
Sure. And the properties of parent class. See, if I tell you that mm, say there is a crow.
Hmm.
Okay. If I
Hmm.
tell you that there is a parrot,
Hmm.
give me some more names. Say
Eh, hen.
hen. हम सोच रहे थे chicken.
Chicken. So,
If you ask me to
sparrow.
name a bird,
Pigeon.
then obviously first bird I will specify chicken.
Chicken. हमने भी वही सोच रहे pigeon,
Acha,
peacock,
pigeon. Okay. So
peacock like that.
you in that way you can specify the name of what?
The birds
Bird. See, every element can be
is
termed
related
as bird.
bird.
Now, what is this bird? Can anyone tell me that? Yeah, I see a
Main
bird.
class.
No, no, no. I am
Okay.
thinking in a conceptual way.
Okay.
Can you tell me that?
Mm.
Yeah, I see a bird. I saw a bird.
No, they
No.
will specify the name of
Whatever
it.
you saw a crow, you
Crow,
saw a parrot,
parrot.
either you hen
Mm.
or you saw a
Yes.
pigeon. You can never see a bird.
Mm.
Okay. Then what is a bird? Now think, see, crow being a bird or being an animal, it has some
Mm.
specific properties, na? P1,
Yes.
P2, P3. Okay.
Mm.
Since this is also an animal,
Mm.
it have some properties too. Say
Yes.
P dash 1, say
Mm.
P5, okay,
Mm.
P6.
Mm.
And obviously, these two have some common properties, maybe P2.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
This hen is an animal, so again it has some properties, say P7,
Mm.
but it has
Common property as
P2
P2.
and P6.
P6.
Okay, P2 is common to all.
Mm.
Okay, so I am
Yes.
not going far. So you can see that P2 is common to all.
Yes.
So even it will
Even in
also have
pigeon.
P2.
Mm.
Then can't I say that bird is something which holds P2, have the
Exactly.
property P2. Okay,
Mm.
and I can design it something like that. Say bird is something which has the property P2.
P2.
Conceptually, you just think.
Yes.
And crow is something which has the property P1 and
P2.
P3
Mm.
along with the P2.
Along with P2. Yes.
Parrot, a parrot
Has
is
P
an animal have the
P5,
property
P6,
P5, P6
P6
along with
along
P2
with P2.
in such way. So
Mm.
this structure is called
In
hierarchy. This is a
hierarchy.
hierarchical structure. Na?
Yes, yes.
In the
It's
hierarchical
hierarchy.
structure, what we do, the most common means which is common to everyone, we put that in a
Top
uh,
priority.
top hierarchy.
Mm.
And the lower hierarchies will contain the specific properties. So these are the
Yes.
specific properties of crow. These are the
Mm.
specific properties of parrot. But the common property are being kept in the higher
Ha-
level hierarchy. Okay,
yes.
this is called your in our daily life we called it as a inheritance. Inheritance. This is a property. Inheritance.
Mm.
Okay. Why we called it as inheritance? Because see in our life we borrow the properties from our parents. That's
Yes.
why a child when get birth,
Mm.
their friends and the relatives, your
Mm.
the child get the eyes from his mother, maybe his lips from his father.
Yes.
Okay, something like that. The child
Mm.
looks something, some similarities are there. So those
To
are the
parent.
properties that has been automatically inherited into the child from the parent. This is a
Yes.
biological transformation of properties.
Yes.
That's why the term called inheritance appears here also. So
Mm.
here we have to think in that way. Whatever the properties of this
Mm.
class, I am now specifying directly that this is a class.
Mm.
Whatever the properties of this class that can be borrowed into the descendants. Okay,
Yes.
this technology in object oriented approach or process is called the inheritance.
Inheritance.
Okay, so how can we represent the inheritance here? See here, uh,
Superclass and
I
subclass.
am just copying this image.
Mm.
See here we have a scope to give the example of inheritance. Suppose in
Mm.
the bank maintain two types of account,
Mm.
savings and current account. Okay,
Current account. Mm.
so this is your savings account,
Current
and this
account.
is your current account. These are separate classes.
Yes.
These classes are inherited from,
From accounts.
this is a symbol of showing inheritance. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this type of arrow. Okay,
Mm.
now in any say again, say if you show the association like that, then you must show the inheritance in this pattern. Okay,
Mm.
but if you are showing the inheritance in a straight line, then you can also mention the if you show the association as a straight line, then you can also mention the inheritance like just a single arrow.
Singular.
So I prefer to show the inheritance in this direction. Okay.
Okay.
So we can say that accounts are of two types, savings and current. Savings account you consider have a special property called interest.
Mm.
No? Because
Yes.
you know that current account do not give you any interest.
Yes.
But if you keep your money, if you open a savings account, you will get some interest, although it's a very less today. But
Mm.
once it was a very good amount interest.
Yes.
Okay. But current account, you will not get any interest from it. Okay.
Mm.
But these all properties means the account number, account, etc., balance, everything.
Mm.
Okay. So that will be the common properties of both the classes, right?
Yes.
So this is called your inheritance. So in the class diagram, you have to show the inheritance in that way. And remember that the arrow is always uh, will
Here
be
I have a doubt.
yeah.
Why it should be upward arrow? It is arrow toward to the super class. Actually, it could have been from super class to subclass, no?
Mm, there is a very big story behind it.
Okay.
Obviously, I can tell you the story, but today I
Mm.
think already we have finished our time now.
Yes.
See, this is your parent.
Mm.
We call it as, I'm just
Parent
writing,
class.
parent or super in Java or base
Mm. Cla-
in C++ plus plus class. Okay,
mm.
and these are the
Child. Child subclass.
child class, subclass, derived class,
Derived class.
inherited
Inherited
class,
class.
uh, extended in Java,
Mm. Extended also, correct.
extended class, etc. Okay,
Mm.
class. Okay,
Mm.
okay. So this is the structure of inheritance. All you have to do, you have to identify whether there is any subclass
Common.
exists for a class. If a subclass exists in the system, then you have to show it in that order.
Mm.
Okay. Now trying to give you the answer of your question in a very short time. See, mm, tell me, do you have ever watch a movie of Junior Bachchan? I know that you people do not watch Hindi movie regularly, but still, you must know who is Bachchan na, in
Ah,
India.
Bachchan is no.
Yeah. Do you have ever saw a movie of Junior Bachchan?
नहीं.
No. Okay.
Mhm.
So, who is Junior Bachchan?
In film industry, if we take it as junior, means there will be a duplicate artist who will
No,
be
no,
having
no,
similar like that.
no, no, no. You are not getting
You
me.
mean to say son? Son?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Abhishek Bachchan. Okay,
Abhishek
we
Bachchan.
have
Ah,
seen.
very good. Thank you. Abhishek Bachchan.
Uh,
He is a very good artist. Okay.
uh,
I personally like him, but unfortunately,
he did
he
not
is
make up his career.
no, no, no. That's a very funny thing. Okay, but he is a very good actor. He is not getting a right script for him.
Okay.
Anyway, Abhishek Bachchan. Okay, right.
Mm,
Now, when I say that Junior Bachchan, you at once identify that it is Junior Bachchan, means it is Abhishek Bachchan. It is not
mm,
Amitabh Bachchan. Okay.
mm,
Now, so this is synonymous with Abhishek Bachchan, Junior Bachchan.
mm,
Now here, leave the term Junior. Think about the
mm,
term Bachchan.
mm.
This term Bachchan belongs to whom? Abhishek Bachchan or
Amitabh.
Amitabh Bachchan?
Amitabh Bachchan.
Exactly. This term belongs to the big
Amitabh Bachchan.
Abhi, Amitabh
Mm,
Bachchan. Okay.
mm,
Now tell me, You are identifying the son
Mm.
by his parent, na?
Yes.
So parent is bound to the child or child is bound to parent.
Child is bound to parent.
Child is bound to parent. So can't I say that
Arrow should be upward.
savings is a
Mm.
account, current account is a account.
Mm.
Similarly, Abhishek Bachchan is a special type of Amitabh Bachchan, can't I say?
Mm. Yes.
So that's why the arrow giving in upward direction. So this is
Okay.
called, inheritance is called is a relationship. What?
Mm-hmm.
It is called is a, it's a very big term, okay? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
later I can explain it completely. Is a
Mm-hmm.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You remember from ear diagram, there is
Yes.
also a, is a relationship. Relationship. Is a relation. Is a means, what is Isa? Isa specifying the type. Okay, type.
Mm.
Okay, type. See, if somebody do not know who is Abhishek Bachchan and who is who is Abhishek Bachchan. Okay,
Mm.
if he know Amitabh Bachchan, then looking Abhishek Bachchan, he may think that he is something
Mm.
similar to
Ab-
means
Amitabh Bachchan.
Amitabh Bachchan, na? So
Mm.
this is called the type. Okay. So it is related to type. Okay. Later I will explain it more with a specific example. But since it is already 10:20, so we have to
Mm.
stop today. So
Yes.
we have learned today how to recapitulate the
Associate.
last class, how to design the multiplicity and how to design a class, how to make
Associate.
association and how to mention the multiplicity in the association and what is the concept
Inheritance,
of inheritance,
encapsulation, abstraction,
uh, encapsulation and abstraction, and how to show the inheritance in the
inheritance,
class diagram.
class.
That part we have completed, and next day we will continue from this if we have a scope. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, tell me, Shashiji, if anything to ask.
No, whatever was done today,
Okay, okay. I am just
it
stopping the
is
recording now.
fine. Yeah.